Hello. The purpose of this channel isn't necessarily to educate, but rather to demonstrate my current skill set and document my learning process over time. So I guess with this video, we can start off by describing my background a little bit. As a kid, I grew up around computers, but still at an early age, I never really knew what I wanted to do. I remember growing up, I had desktop computers and would sometimes help my dad build our own custom PCs. But in my first year of college, I purchased a laptop at Walmart for like $200, super cheap. About a year into using it for school, it completely stopped working. I'd turn it on and it would show the motherboard logo, but then remain a blank screen. I remember stressing out about it because I didn't have anything for school now, but luckily it was the summer, so I didn't need anything immediate. I would look online and search up anything I could find related to blank screen after powering on laptop, which was essentially my first time ever trying to troubleshoot a more serious IT problem all on my own. I always troubleshooted simple things like sound not working, a printer not printing, or maybe the router would stop working. But this was my first major problem I encountered, and that's when I first learned about PC beep codes. If you don't know, when you power on your PC, there are a series of beeps that run as an initial system check. I can't remember what the codes were back then, but I remember feeling helpless. I tried for a few weeks trying to fix it, even trying to install Windows again wouldn't work. That's when I learned about Linux. I had no clue what it was, but it was free. I was definitely scared to try it, and was also hanging on to hope that I didn't want to lose the stuff on my laptop that was still on the Windows drive. Eventually, I caved, and created a USB installation drive for Ubuntu. Amazingly, it worked. After weeks of trying to get Windows running, Linux just worked. I pretty much spent the remainder of summer messing around with my cool Linux laptop, feeling like I had entered this secret world of IT hackers' playground. Never before using the command line until then. Sadly, at the time, I was heavily influenced by my dad to not pursue anything related to Linux, because in his words, Linux will give us all computer viruses and there's no job market for Linux. It's for people who are too cheap to buy a Windows license. I was just a young kid, I didn't know, and my dad seemed to be really knowledgeable about computers. After all, he did teach me how to build custom PCs growing up, and he seemed to like tech stuff. So I ended up teaching myself how to do web design instead, and ended up becoming a web developer for a few years. But working with others at my previous job, I had a fresh look back into the Linux world, and it just felt way more compelling to learn and to challenge myself with it. It reminded me of how I felt as a young kid first looking into Linux, and just feeling like I was working on the coolest thing possible. Web development never really excited me the same way Linux did. Sure, it was cool building things, crafting something that others could see online anywhere in the world was a pretty neat idea, but Linux allows you to take that further and really manage IT systems, even hosting a website all on your own. For those who end up stumbling on this channel, I'm not necessarily trying to create tutorials, although some videos may end up following that format. I'm really just trying to document my process and see how I progress over the years. So, if you see me doing something really stupid, or there's a better way of doing something, tell me. Criticize the way I do things so I can improve, and maybe anyone who watches can improve along with me. You can and should also pitch me challenging ideas to work on.